MakeyMakey is this board. It is sitting inside this black box, and there are 4 controls. There's more on the box, but the only ones that are wired up are these with color on them, and they are wired to WASD to make it easy to simulate. So if I hit the yellow button, then apologies, got to make sure the app is at the front. If I hit the yellow button, I am getting sound. It's giving me feedback that I've clicked the F key using the yellow button. And the other thing to pay attention to is back here we have a JSON document with a viewer. This is a statement I sent previous. Once I click OK, that ID number is going to change in red. That is validating or a response back from the LRS showing that I have received a message back, and this is the information that has been sent. I can use this viewer and navigate through this and see as at any level of detail as I want. And then the other thing to realize is that that is one statement of 4. So if I send the blue button, I'm actually sending a different statement, and so it'll reset. And of course the red button, and it should reset. I didn't.
Oh, you're only using one verb though, aren't you? Selected.
Yes. So let's dive into that a little bit. In the verb section, you'll see that we are sending selected for all of them, each of them, I should say, rather than all of them. But the object and the definition has some details in it that varies. So the idea is we're simulating somebody responding to a question on a question board. So they've chosen green for question 27 is the summary statement that you'll see in the LRS reporter. You can see here the individual choices, and if you expand down, I get the color and a description for each one. The idea is this would match the response that they are seeing on the document they're looking at. And then the correct responses shows that the correct should have been yellow, but I chose green, and my choices were, the choices were elaborated further down. You just scroll up and get into, I think where we talked about selected. Now I'm hunting for it. There's the activity. There's the result. That's the one I'm looking for. So completion is true because they clicked green, but they were looking for yellow, so success is shown as false. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the idea is this application is actually uploaded into GitHub as a series of files. Okay, so there's that. So in our Team Down Under Spring 2021 GitHub area, I have xAPI and LiveCode, which I haven't shown you this. This one that I'm talking over is LRP for MakeyMakey. So LRP for Down Under. My labeling leaves room to be desired. The other situation is the file for Mac OS is small enough to be uploaded into GitHub. Unfortunately, the other files for Linux, Windows 64, as well as Windows 32, are all too large. So I went ahead and uploaded them to my server and put a URL in here so you could download them. I also just went ahead and did the Mac one that way. If people look at this list, they can download. And you can literally run this app, and like I said, with... and I'm not sure I got the colors right, but each of these are mapped to the WASD as well. So you can run it and send statements to your heart desire using the app. Now this one, the statements are coded within a web page, so there's no editing of that. You can choose to send them the way they are, basically. But that leads me to a second application. I'm not sure I want to minimize that. Actually, I'm going to drop the camera again and set that offside. So this one doesn't use the MakeyMakey. This one is called xAPI Reporter, and this is the tool that we worked on this year. I've got it customized with the logo, and you can see it opens to an initialized statement. And what you have here is we were modeling the profile for video, So the verbs that we're using are for video. Let me start with the settings. You can go in and customize the LRS endpoint. You can customize the username and the password. What I have done is, in case somebody doesn't realize it and gets an error, I have a button in here to reset it back to this, or my other ID was for StormCloud, so I can reset it to that. The requirement is you have to put statements / at the end. So having these buttons here means if somebody gets an error, they can see what that looks like. So the statement is here in an editable text field. Somebody have a question?
Yeah, I was just asking, have you checked I haven't looked in at the LRS to make sure they're arriving?
Yes. So if I click post statement, it's going to take the text from here, send it, and give me a result. So the result saying success is telling me that it's working. So let me clear the results, try another verb. So the verb on this one is attempted on the settings page, but each of these buttons in effect will take you to a different, with a label up at the top, and you can see initialized here. You can still post the statements as they are. Again, I can clear the result. So if I want to send it a few times, and the idea of having that cycle is if you were editing, you could go through a cycle where you're sending a few. That might be more common for paused and played than it would be for initialized. I just sent a few for initialized. So you can see there's interacted, completed, and or terminated. And again, this code is also up there in GitHub. Both the code, which I didn't mention before, but the LiveCode file for the other one is. I didn't see that I uploaded it there, but if I look at xAPI in LiveCode, we called it xAPI Reporter. So xAPI Reporter DownUnder for Linux, Mac, Windows, Windows 32, and Windows 64, and then this is the LiveCode file. So you could actually download from livecode.org and edit the app and customize it further. Any questions?
Where do we buy it?
It's available on GitHub. Donations are gleefully accepted.
It's great. It's like massively cool.